We are live. Hello, lovelies. Welcome to the Go Pure Glow Show. My name is Stephanie Classy. I'm a licensed clinical esthetician and your head of education here at Go Pure. And we are so excited today because we have the absolute funnest show for you all. We have a very special guest for a dermatologist Q&A session. When you hop on, say hello, let us know where you're joining us from. It's not just me today. We always have our incredible team behind the scenes in the chat, answering your questions and helping throughout the live. Make sure you say hello and participate because, like always, we are doing amazing giveaways all throughout the live, and we're going to have an awesome grand prize at the end of the show. And we're going to be just answering your skincare questions, questions about our products, because for a limited time, you can still save 25% and get a free gift on our website for our amazing holiday sale. And we just have so much to talk about. So make sure you like this live, comment, and share, and make your list so you know what you want to grab to take advantage of our incredible offers that we have for a limited time. And remember, you need to shop by the end of the day on the 14th to make sure you get your fun goodies for the holidays. We just want to make sure you get everything in time. If you're getting gifts for someone else or for yourself, or just building your routine a little more with these offers. So we're so excited, and we're going to do so many fun giveaways tonight. I see we have Valerie on, Rose, Stacy, Kelly. Welcome. We're so excited. Elaine from Pennsylvania, Rose from Arizona. I am based in Denver, Colorado, and we're so excited. So who is excited to meet our very, very special guest tonight? It is Dr. Edward Chen. He is one of the dermatologists on our dermatology board of advisors that we have here at Go Pure. So get your questions ready, because we're just going to be answering your questions and sharing all sorts of fun skincare knowledge. So Dr. Chen is a board certified dermatologist based in Atlanta, Georgia. He completed his medical training from the University of Chicago and the University of Alabama, Birmingham. And he's just such a great fit for our board of advisors because he is so passionate about educating on all things skin and skincare and just really ensuring that his patients are best equipped to make decisions regarding their skin and their skincare. And in his spare time, he likes to play pickleball and tennis and spend time with his family. So let's welcome and let's give Dr. Chen a very, very warm welcome and welcome him to the show. Hi, Dr. Chen.
Hi. How's it going? I see all the chats here. I'm so excited to be able to be with you guys, and to kind of share my knowledge and any tips and pointers, and just so excited to be a part of Go Pure family. It's just a really exciting time.
Yeah. We're so excited to have you. And I don't think that everyone here even knows like all the fun ways that we've already been able to have such a great impact from you and the other members of our board of advisors with, quotes from you all on the website to content that you make to help educate that we share all over social. And then of course, your really awesome holiday gift sets that we've been able to do with you all. All of that is just so much fun and we're just getting started.
Yes. So excited. Yes.
How would you feel about doing a giveaway? So if you're in the chat, we want to see your name. We want to see you participate because we're going to be doing giveaways all night long. Well, all live long, not the whole night. But if we see you in the chat, if we see you participating, saying hello, asking your questions, that is how our incredible team chooses our winner. So we're going to do a giveaway to kick off the show. And what do you say we give away one of the new Brilliant Barrier Water Creams?
Oh, yes. I love that product. It has packed with ceramides and all sorts of goodies. Yes.
Lots of yumminess in a jar. So tonight we thought we'd give away some of the water cream, some of your really amazing gift set that has the anti-wrinkle moisturizer, the neck cream, and the firm and lift serum. And then at the end, we'll give away a bunch of things. How does that sound?
Sounds great. Yeah, I love giveaways.
It's really fun. It's like one of my favorite things on the lives because our customers are just the absolute best. They're always participating so much in the chat. They ask the best questions. And so I'm so excited to be able to give lots of things away. And it looks like we have a winner. So Denise Scotty Smith, you won the new Brilliant Barrier Water Cream. And that we're just getting started. And I want to know in the chat, who has tried the new water cream? Because this is, it's our newest product. And I'm so excited to have a product with these ingredients, with this texture, and just something that is so versatile. I know that just with the input that I was able to have on this, like versatility is always really important to me. And like making products accessible to more people and more skin types. So I'm just so excited we have this and to be able to give that away. So if you have tried the new water cream, let us know in the comments. All right. So Dr. Chen, as we're getting questions coming through here, I'm going to ask you some questions too. So when we were trying to find the absolute best, most perfect dermatologist for our dermatology board of advisors, and we reached out, what was your first impression of Go Pure when you learned about us, and then when you checked out the products? Like, what were your first impressions?
Yeah, so I was really excited when I checked out the products. At first I was like, oh, I never heard of Go Pure, but then once I looked into it, I was like, wow, this is actually a brand that I can really stand behind. This is a brand that I can actually advocate for and put my face to as well, and be able to wholeheartedly kind of give my support, and I would say that there's multiple reasons why. So number one, it's affordable. It's accessible to patients. It's not something that's an extremely high price point. You're not trying to milk, patient dollars or anything like that. It's a really, affordable, product. And also really, if anyone knows me, they know that I am big on active ingredients that really work. So, if you label something, you don't have all the ingredients, then I'm like, what is this? What does it do? Yeah. And I would say that that's the key, is that you need active ingredients that actually are clinically proven to work. And also just, the company itself is a great, they have great ideals, so things like cruelty free, not tested on animals, clean ingredients, all these things really, and the transparency behind the brand really just speaks volumes, I think, to me, and just that you stand behind the products, and that it really clinically works. So that's really, it's all you can look for a brand.
Yay, I love to hear that. I mean, I feel like I had a similar experience when I was first introduced to GoPure. Just the more exploring I did, I just found more and more of my favorite ingredients, and I love the combinations, and I couldn't believe the prices. I was seriously like, how can they sell these at this price with all of these great things in them? So very similar experience. So why are you excited to be a part of the dermatology board of advisors that we are doing here now?
Yeah, absolutely. So, really, I'm really excited behind number one, just being able to curate the best and most effective products for you guys. For all the people on the chat. Just being able to choose products that I think are the most clinically, effective products, and the products that you should actually, consider getting. What things work, what things don't work. Vitamin C works, right? There's no doubt vitamin C works. There's no doubt retinols work. There's no doubt, even these, hyaluronic acid, all these things, so I'd say number one is just being able to curate products and choose products for you guys, but then also being behind the scenes as well, being in product development and also testing products, making sure that they are safe. And, I use some today, and it's really, it feels great. When you put it on, it's like, there's just so many active ingredients in there that you don't even realize when you just open the bottle. It's just like, wow, like what? And so I would say that being able to do that behind the scenes, and also being, able to input, my opinion in terms of what would be a good product, what would not be a good product, and even new products as well, product development. I think being behind the scenes just kind of really, it's I think it's a perfect partnership, yeah.
We're so excited because we get so much input from our customers about what we should do next here. And we're really pushing, we always push the limits, and our director of product development is always pushing the limits on how many active ingredients we can put in something, keeping it just the highest standard of clean. So intentional with that responsible pricing. I mean, there's just so much that we put behind the scenes, and we get so much of it from our customers. They give us so much great input for what matters to them. And now to be able to have that perspective from our dermatologists too, I really feel like it's just completes that that perspective and that input, so we can just continue to make better and better products, and with more ingredients and more product types, and help with even more with more skin concerns. So that's very fun. Absolutely. Now, I have a question, because I feel like, and anyone in the chat, let us know, like, we see all the time in our VIP group, these women sharing their personal skin journey and their personal story of skin confidence. And one thing that I've noticed too, even when people share a before and after, it's amazing how when we feel confident in our skin, they're smiling more and they're radiating more, and it's, an even better picture. And because so many times we just feel so much more confident being seen and putting ourselves out there. So I was wondering if you had a personal story with your skin, or anyone that you've worked with, where you were so aware of how helping someone feel more confident in their skin and helping them overcome certain skin struggles really had that positive impact on them overall.
Absolutely. So I guess my story is pretty personal, I would say. It's so it really started when I was in the 5th grade, and actually I had kind of a scalp rash, actually, and I went to see the dermatologist. My mom brought me, and they initially thought I was, I had like psoriasis or something like that. They gave me some strong steroids, and that like just really, did not work. And then my mom, as moms know the best, I guess, she like gave me this like Asian cream that she got, and then that was super embarrassing, going to school, just having that in my hair, and I was just like, oh, this is super embarrassing. So I was like, Mom, I can't do this anymore. So then we ended up like just getting this like anti-dandruff kind of shampoo, sodium sulfide, from the supermarket, and that actually helped clear my skin. really, through that experience, that kind of personal experience, I really gravitated toward dermatology, in med school, and really saw that skin is really just it's not just skin deep, right? It's actually affects the person as a whole, and I think that really gave me a little bit more of a being in the patient's shoes, right? And knowing that if you don't have clear skin, you go to school, that's tough, like that's and even if you go to your work, you don't have clear skin, that is really that can really affect your confidence. So really being I think it makes me a little bit more of a compassionate kind of provider for patients, and knowing that I want something that works, right? I want to be able to diagnose people correctly. I want to be able to treat them effectively and with the best products. And I think that that really brings me to today, being able to share with you guys what really works, what is scientifically proven, and that's my passion. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love hearing that because, at the end of the day, it's each individual person's experience, and every experience is going to be different. And I think that's why we pour so much into education and different types of education, from
Mhm.
short videos to blogs to these lives. So we can just help refine that process for each and every person, because it really does have a ripple effect too. That when someone feels confident, I feel like it just impacts people around them, and all of that as well. Okay, so Kaylee, can we take to the chat? And let's see if there's a question that has come up that maybe we can start taking this to the chat, and then we'll do another giveaway too in the process. Because I feel like we could do another giveaway again.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, this is a great question. The water cream, where does this fall in your routine? So
Yes.
what do you recommend, Dr. Chen? Where do we recommend putting the water cream in someone's skincare routine?
So I generally, so as far as actives go, I always try to do, the cleansers first, any sort of actives after that, and then the cream, because in my opinion, if you do the cream first, it kind of gets in the way a little bit of the actives, unless you really are having a lot of irritation from things like the retinols. I would say that the cream usually falls last, in somebody's regimen. And so a lot of times I recommend at night to do that, the water cream at the very end of your skincare routine. In the morning, I usually do the sunscreen at the very end. You can do your serums and your vitamin C, but then the sunscreen falls at the very end.
Yeah, perfect.
Mhm.
So yeah, typically exactly like Dr. Chen said, we start with, cleansing and toning the skin. We layer on our serums, those more active, potent ingredients, and then we really lock that in with a moisturizer. What's really cool about the water cream is the texture, because it is very hydrating and rich in those humectants. Is that we have some customers that will layer this with something like the anti-wrinkle moisturizer. So they'll put this on underneath, treat it like a gel serum after their serum, so they can get those ceramides, the biome active, the niacinamide, and then even like cap it if they want something even more rich on top. But really, like for most skin types, this is going to be plenty. And if you do want more, you can slather on something even more rich. But I do feel like it's so super versatile. Ooh, and we have a giveaway winner. Let's see who is our next winner. Brenda Lukes. Am I saying your last name right? You won our new Brilliant Barrier Water Cream. So congratulations. And remember, we're going to be doing giveaways all throughout. And we're going to be doing a grand prize at the end. I think the next giveaway we should do Dr. Chen's firming set.
Nice.
I think next we'll give away a set. So make sure you're in the chat. And let's see if we can find another question. I'm seeing lots of questions about the water cream. Does the water cream take the place of a moisturizer? It really is a moisturizer. So the water cream think of it as a lighter weight, very hydrating moisturizer. I don't know about you, like when I apply it, it feels like a rush of water into my skin. And I love that my skin that sensation doesn't go away. That's one thing that I love about this, is that it's not just like a moment, like some other water creams can be. Your skin does stay moisturized. It does stay feeling hydrated. And so especially if you have normal combination or oily skin, this is a really ideal moisturizer. If you have normal to dry skin, try it out. If it's not enough, you can layer something on top of it. It's a great question. On the topic of moisturizers, Dr. Chen,
Yes, yes.
you have an amazing set, and that's what we're going to give away next.
Mhm,
This awesome set that has our anti-wrinkle moisturizer, our Tighten and Lift Neck Cream, and the Firm and Lift
mhm,
Serum.
mhm.
So quick question about moisturizers. How can someone pick what moisturizer is best for them? Because we have the new Barrier Water Cream, and then we have like the anti-wrinkle moisturizer that is more of a richer cream, but it's still not heavy. Like, if just really easily, if someone's trying to make a moisturizer decision, what is your basic recommendation around choosing?
Yeah, absolutely. So in general, water creams are pretty light. I would say this anti-wrinkle moisturizer is in particular, I really like it. I have it right here. Um, if you want to have even more kind of benefits, so this anti-wrinkle moisturizer contains a peptide blend, and that can really help firm the skin, and kind of decrease the, fine lines and wrinkles. It gives the skin some, what do peptides do really? They're really just building blocks that help the skin have adequate nutrition, and also, signals for the skin to, thicken, really to build that collagen, to increase that, elasticity, that bounciness, and so really, I would say this anti-wrinkle moisturizer that's kind of what I like it for. It has so many goodies in it, and can even, I love how these Go Pure, by the way, I love how these Go Pure bottles have all the active
Yeah.
ingredients on them. That's just really, helpful, because then you can see, okay, this is, a peptide blend. It has glycolic acid that can help with pigmentation. Niacinamide decreases redness, inflammation. All these ingredients are actually listed on the bottle itself, so it kind of reminds you that this is not just an ordinary moisturizer. This is, one that has a lot of, goodies that can help with anti-aging. And I would say if you have, fine lines and wrinkles, if you have pigmentation, uneven, skin tone, then I would say this one is a great option, and it applies on really well. And that's, I would say, I highly recommend this one. Yeah.
So how does texture come into play when making moisturizer choice? Because I love how you called out the benefits. So that's one thing, is that if you're trying to choose between a moisturizer or serum, look at what's in there and the benefits. Like Dr. Chen said, the anti-wrinkle moisturizer is much more going to be focused on firming the look of the skin. And it's going to offer deeper moisturization because it just has a richer texture. And then the barrier cream, you can see it's that much lighter texture, and it's going to focus more on barrier support, refining pores. But when it comes to texture, how do you recommend around that too? Like based around, that's usually skin type is kind of like a starting place for me too when people are looking at texture. How do you feel about that?
Yeah. So I would say that the thicker creams are going to be for drier skin. So really any sort of water cream is usually, creams in general are usually thicker, but water creams are usually very, very thin, and they don't really occlude, or kind of cause heaviness. And you'll see like in the markets, that they have like these creams, and they're generally thicker. If it's not a water cream, it's going to be a lot thicker. They're usually oil-based, whereas lotions are usually water-based. And so I would say that if you have extremely, extremely dry skin, I usually go for like an actual cream. Whereas, if you have kind of, or yes, exactly like this one. So this one's more of a thicker consistency. So if you have dry skin, this kind of locks in the moisture really well. Water creams are, really light. If you're acne prone as well, water creams work really well. So I would say that, that those are kind of what I would say is, creams in general are usually thicker, but water creams are thinner. They're more water based, and hence apply on really, really thinly.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because the anti-wrinkle moisturizer has really been an iconic foundational moisturizer that we've had here at Go Pure. And so it's just really nice to have a little bit of that variety based on like skin type or benefit that people are looking for when they're making that choice. You mentioned peptides with the anti-wrinkle moisturizer.
Yes.
I love peptides in skincare. They're one of my favorite ingredients because they're just so tolerable too. When people are looking to firm the look of the skin and just nourish the skin, sometimes we default into different ingredients that maybe aren't as tolerable. And so that's one of the reasons I love peptides, because I feel like they're so versatile. But off the top of your head, when someone, if they were going to grab the anti-wrinkle moisturizer and they're looking for like a peptide moisturizer, why do you think that's a good option?
So I think so moisturizers really are, they act as, there's two types really, in my opinion. So emollients, which help to kind of prevent water loss, and then humectants, which really draw water, and so so I would say a peptide blend it's actually very unique, because I would say most of the peptides, most of the moisturizers that you see at the supermarket, they don't really have peptides, they don't really have active ingredients like that. And so I would say if you're putting on something on your skin, you might as well use something that has an active in it, already, and that also has a lot of the goodies in terms of, things like ceramides, things that help, draw water to the skin. So I would say in addition to all those things, which this definitely has, you also, if you're putting something on your skin already, you might as well use a peptide that's tolerable, that also can help build that skin and to decrease those wrinkles, and it's anti-aging, similar to the other product, that we'll talk about in a moment, like retinols, right? And so really, there's nothing but benefit to kind of putting that on your skin.
Yeah, for sure. And I love that point. Like, everyone needs a moisturizer. No matter your skin type, everyone needs a moisturizer. So if we're going to be putting stuff on our skin, let's get the most benefit from it. And there are a lot of moisturizers out there that's what they do. They moisturize, and that's the end of that story. And the anti-wrinkle moisturizer just has so much in it that delivers targeted benefits. And these are clinically proven active ingredients at active levels. So you're really getting a targeted product that feels great on the skin, that moisturizes the skin. So it's really not just a moisturizer. And I love that.
Exactly.
Oh, we have another winner for Dr. Chen's firming set.
Michelle.
Oh, Michelle Tremarche, you won Dr. Chen's firming set. So let's go through all of the items in your firming set.
Absolutely.
So we talked about the anti-wrinkle moisturizer.
So we already talked about this one. Yep. We also have this. Yep, I have it right here. The Tighten and Lift Neck Cream. This one's really nice because it has cupuaçu butter, which definitely can help lock in that moisture. Matrabust is an excellent, kind of a patented ingredient that can, kind of help with that dermal epidermal junction and help to thicken and kind of, not only hydrate, but also kind of plump and kind of, decrease the wrinkles and really, is a nice active ingredient to help tighten and lift that skin. It also contains hyaluronic acid, which helps to draw water, and then also it has caffeine. It's like a ready list. And then also this the Vexil SP. It contains that caffeine as well as a B vitamin, which can help with decreasing some of that redness and also some of that inflammation, help protect the skin as well. So I would say that there's just a lot of goodies in this one as well. The Matrabust, the cupuaçu butter to kind of help with anti-aging and help build that dermis. And then anything to add for this one before I go to my favorite?
Yes. So, and then we'll get to the Firm and Lift serum. But one question that comes up a lot is, why would someone, if they have a great face moisturizer, why would they maybe want a targeted neck cream? Why would someone not just want to use maybe the same moisturizer? Why would someone want a product formulated for the neck and have two products instead of just trying to use one?
That's a great question. And I would say that the skin on the neck is different from the skin on the face, right? So the face is much, it's a little bit thinner. It's more cosmetically elegant. The neck is also a very sensitive area, actually, but I would say that the difference is, the neck also has, there's things like poikiloderma, right? And poikiloderma is this reticulated kind of this lacy redness that you get from sun exposure, right? And so in the Tighten and Lift neck cream, it has, things like caffeine, things like the B vitamins in there that can help decrease the redness. Rediless is also another ingredient that's an active ingredient, part of this cream that can decrease some of that redness. And I would say that there's a reason why behind all these ingredients in these products. They're really, this live was really, preparing for it, I was like, wow, this is a really, if you delve into these ingredients in these bottles, it's quite, crazy almost, like how much you can actually pack in these products. So I would say that the neck, you have to target different things, right? And so I think the Matribust is very similar to things like peptides to kind of strengthen that dermis, to tighten the skin, but then also, there's different things like the caffeine and the Rediless, and that kind of decrease the redness that a lot of people have. And so that's why you need a separate cream. Yeah. And even for a lot of the other, any sort of skin line who, they a lot of times separate the neck cream from the face moisturizer. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I get frustrated as a skincare professional when there are some products out there that maybe are a glorified moisturizer, but you have people fighting against the idea that you do need stuff that's targeted, but really structurally, how reactive it is, like they're very close and it's very different. I always talk about like your different zones and how you do need to treat them differently. And we really need to care for them. But when we want a targeted face cream that does more, it is great to have a targeted neck cream. And we do pack so much into this neck cream. And you're like, wow, this does this and this does this. And there's so many. And the same thing, they're actually clinically proven ingredients that we have such strong data behind. And we use them at those clinically active levels. We're not just putting it in there to say we have it in there. We legitimately put them at the levels that data supports. And do you know that this went like crazy viral on TikTok also? Like bananas viral on TikTok because of how well it works. And I always am very conservative with how long should someone expect to see results, but what's interesting about the neck cream, because of the caffeine and some of the other ingredients, there's a balance of those short-term benefits and the long-term benefits, which has been so great to have people just be able to share on there and share their own experience. They're like, no, I love the short-term benefit and I'm really excited to see the long-term benefit. So and let's see if we have any questions about the neck cream. I know people love the explanation. They didn't know that about the redness. Yes. And so that's a very key point because the neck does get red. And we do have ingredients in there that help with that. What else do we have? Yeah, the neck cream is amazing. Oh, great question from Sharon. Can you use the neck cream 2 times a day? What do you recommend, Dr. Chen?
I would say the more the merrier. Why not? Yeah. So especially in the winter months, I see a lot of patients who are, they get dry, very, very dry. And so, so I always recommend, kind of the standard set of things like, make sure you don't take too hot of a shower, make not too long of a shower, things like that, but then also I recommend moisturizing multiple times a day and with a cream. So this is actually a dedicated actual cream. I started talking about earlier, the cream versus lotion, and creams actually help to maintain and lock in that, that moisture better. And even what I recommend as well, another tip, is that if you want to make sure that you're not too dry in the wintertime, to be sure that you moisturize right after you shower within about 2 minutes or so. That kind of really can lock in that moisture. So another, kind of just a aside.
No, I love that. And because the skin is thinner, I do like that this does have a different weight than the anti-wrinkle moisturizer. It's not quite as rich of a cream, and it does have those balance of the humectants, because even the kapuasu butter in there is not as rich as shea that you find in typical face cream. So like you said, it is very intentional. Everything from the type of humectants that are in there to the different butters and oils that are in there to the actives, because the weight does need to be just right. So it works so nicely on freshly dampened skin because it has those balance of humectants and that perfect weight for the neck. Body lotion, let me see everyone's experience. Okay, so let's talk about results while we're here. As a dermatologist, when someone starts with a new product, whether it be a whole product line or one product, when do you typically advise people to expect seeing some results with their skincare?
Absolutely. So nothing's ever really instantaneous. I would say this though, if you use like and we'll get to this later, but like things like hyaluronic acid, you can pretty much like guarantee, have some benefits right away. I would say, being, hydrating your skin, kind of plumping the skin, adding moisture. But I would say in general, skincare takes time. So like in terms of, using a retinol, using a peptide, using a vitamin C, using a sunscreen, all these things take time, and I always, for reference, for my acne patients, I see a lot of acne, but, acne patients, I always counsel them, don't like use it for 2 weeks and just, be like, oh, it's not working. I see that all the time. It's just like, oh, it's not working. It's drying out my skin. It's, all these things. And I was like, why didn't you call us? Like I was, because we number one, there are strategies to kind of, decrease the irritation, to help with all the, all these things. And also, and really, 2 weeks is not enough. Really it takes a couple of months, even, to 2 to 3 months, I say, for acne patients. And even, retinols take time. They help on the cellular level, and so if you help on the cellular level, you basically, it takes, potentially 2 3 months, to kind of notice significant benefits, like decreasing the appearance of wrinkles, fine lines, pigmentation, all these things. It takes time. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm always, and as we age too, it's going to vary. When our
Mhm.
when our cells take longer to turn over, when we've maybe had our skin exposed to the elements for longer in our life, and maybe that hyperpigmentation is a little more anchored in there, those
Mhm.
timelines, are going to potentially get longer. So we
Mhm.
definitely love teaching patience around here with your
Mhm.
routine, because 2 weeks would just be like
Mhm.
scratching the surface. Some products can help our skin look and feel more smooth, more nourished, more hydrated, feel more plump. I love seeing before and afters, just how you can tell someone's skin is just happier and more
Mhm.
nourished, and that it's more glowing. But
Yes.
that's just scratching the surface, even within those first 2 to 4 weeks.
Mhm.
4, 8, 16 plus weeks for certain things is
Mhm.
not unreasonable. And just for how
Mhm.
long I've been in skincare, and I would love to hear your perspective on this, because I've had the benefit of working with the same people for years.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
because that just shows how old I how old I am. But I've had some people that I've literally been helping for over a decade. And
Mhm.
it's interesting, even when people look a year down the line or 2 years down the line. I just looked at my skin 2.5 years down
Mhm.
the line.
Mhm.
We get so caught up in a few weeks that even the benefit of being better with your sunscreen, or using a retinol,
Mhm.
or being very good with your vitamin C over the course of even longer periods of time, how sometimes we don't always take that conversation into consideration. Have you had that experience, the difference between expectations of a few weeks, or having worked with someone for much longer, and then really starting to see those long-term benefits?
Yeah. And I would say this, and I see kind of the chat, how uh, these, is this for guys too? I think I mentioned, saw that, so really, yes, exactly. Yes. So things like that. So I think for guys, you really are like, we're kind of more like, if it doesn't work, then stop, then it's not working, and after a couple weeks. And I would say this, if you consistently use sunscreen, and it's interesting because like before I became a dermatologist, I played a lot of tennis. I was out in the sun a lot. I have a little bit of like just kind of evidence of that, and really, you know and that just shows that throughout the years, I should have been using sunscreen when I was in my teens, and really now, I don't have a lot of wrinkles necessarily, but I would say that, my neck, you can kind of see a little bit of, that, and that's why we have this neck cream. But really, it's all kind of, it's never instantaneous. And I
Yep.
would say we live in a culture that's really just, microwave, and want results really fast, but really longitudinally. I've seen patients, that come back, they're consistent with their retinols, and their skincare, and their skin looks better, and even one of my colleagues in Alabama, Dr. Hartman, he always preaches, just kind of consistency, patience, stay off the app, and so really, all these things, just really just taking, time, it just takes time, and I would say it takes patience, but then your skin, your skin will thank you. You really, and even, having more confidence and radiant skin, and so really, I would say that, in my experience, is this what we kind of, expect, or kind of is not really the reality, and I have to kind of always combat this in my clinic as well. Just like, what you expect and what we think might take a little bit of time, it takes much longer, even especially for pigmentation.
Yeah.
And that's one thing. It's just like, that's never overnight,
Yeah.
This just takes time. Yeah.
And I'm seeing questions about like different pigmentation struggles. And that is one of the things that there's so many different things that cause skin discoloration and hyperpigmentation and pigmentation in the skin. It takes a multifaceted approach to it. So what advice would you give someone who does have challenging pigmentation, for maybe like day and night, or things to consider if they really want to get serious about improving, skin discoloration and pigmentation in the skin?
Yeah, I get this all the time. So definitely, sunscreen's number one. So I would say mineral sunscreen, any sunscreen, but really, yes, Go Pure's mineral sunscreen. Zinc is great, and tinted is also great, especially if you have the one of the few times I recommend tinted is actually if you have melasma, and I would say that actually, there's no reason why you wouldn't use a tinted. Just make sure that sometimes people complain that their white clothing get a little, tint on it. Just, as long as you don't like kind of rub, white clothing on, on when you put the tinted sunscreen, it actually tends to actually work better than non-tinted sunscreen. So because it blocks out visible light as well. And visible light is actually a component that can potentially flare melasma. And so I would say that there's no reason why you wouldn't use a tinted mineral sunscreen, unless you just really, hated that it can, sometimes get on clothing or something like that. We just have to be a little, careful, but it definitely works better, than non-tinted sunscreens. The other thing I always recommend for pigmentation would be, something like a vitamin C in the morning, before you use a sunscreen, before you use that Go Pure sunscreen, put on some of this Brighten and Even, and serum, and this, these vitamin C help to, it's an antioxidant, basically. It can help neutralize some of the environmental, kind of aggressors, and also, help decrease that oxidative stress, and so that's also something that can help with pigmentation. Niacinamide is also a good product for pigmentation as well. Yep. And so niacinamide. And then, and so pigmentation, even, if you at night, if you want to do something for pigmentation, you could even do like a retinol, which we'll probably get to in a moment. But the Firm and Lift retinol can also help with increasing that, cellular, turnover, and it can help with the pigmentation as well. So those are kind of my tips for pigmentation. Sometimes you have to use kind of prescription medications for pigmentation as well if it gets really aggressive, or you can't clear it up. But definitely, if that is the case, then you should see your local dermatologist.
Yeah. Well, and it is because there are so many different things that can trigger hyperpigmentation in the skin. And even with sunscreen, I do want to reiterate something too, because I've just seen some comments about like when you're in the sun or in the summer, and you were mentioning visible light and how a tint it is that combination. This is a 25% zinc oxide. It's actually the highest percentage you can put in a product. And then we have the tint, but we are so exposed to UVA and UVB rays and visible light all the time. So sunscreen really is every single day, all year round, even when you're not going to be, quote, out in the sun. That's one of the things that has made the biggest difference, I think, along with the actual products that I want to improve my hyperpigmentation, is just making sure I'm using a mineral sunscreen that has a tint and being so good about it and so good about my sun care. That's a component I see people miss a lot, is that they want to be doing all these things and they're not putting in that component of proper sun care. And that's really going to limit results.
Right. Absolutely.
So I love that you brought up, for pigmentation, a retinoid at night. I think that vitamin C gets all like the jazz hands and the hurrah around brightening the skin and hyperpigmentation. And we talked about having it be like a multifaceted approach. And both retinoids and retinol and bakuchiol are amazing ingredients for targeting the look of hyperpigmentation, because then we talk about them for lines and wrinkles all the time, but it doesn't get enough attention, I think, for targeting hyperpigmentation. So let's talk about the Firm and Lift Serum. This is the third product in your set.
Yes.
So why do you love the Firm and Lift Serum, and why should people try it?
Absolutely. So I think it goes without saying that the retinoids, retinols, bakuchiol even, so these are certainly active ingredients that work. They target the cellular level. They help fine lines and wrinkles, the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, help with pigmentation, like we kind of discussed already, increasing that cell turnover as well. And so and this product is really special because it combines two, actually. So the Grand Active Retinol is definitely a great product. It's very tolerable. It's also very effective as well. And so and I've used it. I don't get really dry skin from it. And the other thing is the bakuchiol is a kind of a botanical kind of approach to this as well. And we were kind of just chatting before we went on live about the bakuchiol and how there was a study saying that this is similar kind of efficacy in terms of the effectiveness, decreasing the appearance of wrinkles, things like that, with bakuchiol and retinol. This is a study out of UC Davis, but also bakuchiol is it's more tolerable. It doesn't really have some of the side effects of the peeling skin and things like that. So also a great kind of additive in there that could can only help with decreasing kind of anti-aging properties and things like that. So
yeah, and I love that bakuchiol is actually really great for breakout prone skin and hyperpigmented skin, not just lines and wrinkles. And we have another winner for our Brilliant Barrier Water Cream. Ashley Seward, you won the new Brilliant Barrier Water Cream. And if you all want a chance to win, because I've seen questions about how you get entered to win, just participate in our chat. Make sure that everyone behind the scenes sees you participating, share the love, ask your questions, and you will be automatically entered to win some of our many giveaways here that we are going to be doing throughout the evening. Now, I love talking about the serum. I love that you brought up the tolerability of the Grand Active Retinoid and the bakuchiol. I think that's what makes it so unique, is that we're having two ingredients in there that work similar ways with similar goals, but slightly differently. So again, we have that multifaceted approach to both targeting the look of lines and wrinkles, hyperpigmentation, all of that. But if someone is just starting something that is a retinoid, because this is a direct acting retinoid, it's not like retinol where it has to convert into this in the skin, but it's super, super stable and much more tolerable. But what are some of your tips? Because we know that when someone's jumping into a skincare routine and adding something that is potent and effective and is a retinoid, skin can potentially get more dry. There can be some irritation. So how can someone ensure retinol success?
Absolutely. So what I usually recommend, there's one of probably two things. One is you can actually start off every other night using the retinol, because, and then also just make sure that you put on, a moisturizer right after you use the retinol. So that's one thing, is to kind of, do it every other night for the first couple of weeks. You can also do a retinol sandwich, which is if you put on a light moisturizer, we've discussed before, like a light moisturizer, maybe a water cream or something like that. And then you could put on the retinoid, retinol, and then another layer of the moisturizer as well. So kind of that retinol sandwiching can also help with dryness as well. But I think the key is that knowing that this is usually a temporary phenomenon, and that your skin will get used to the retinol over time, and that that dryness should improve once you're kind of on that stable dose, and you should be able to use it every night is the goal. Oh.
I muted myself. So I'm seeing questions about when we use retinol. Do we use it twice a day? Do we use it during the day? Do we use it at night?
That's a great question. Yeah. So I usually, in general, only recommend using it at night because retinols, retinoids, they're a lot of these molecules are actually inactivated by sunlight, and so you don't really want to use it twice a day because that'll probably, number one, dry out your skin even more, and
Mhm.
number two, it might not actually be as effective if you use it twice a day. Usually, in general, we recommend retinols, retinoids at night.
Yeah.
Mm, yeah.
And, when someone is, say they get the Actives Trio or it's not the Actives Trio anymore. So I saw a question. The Actives Trio is now the Power Trio. So,
Mhm.
but I'm used to that terminology. So if you're
Yes.
looking, it's called the Power Trio. So I'm going to
Mhm.
grab it here because
Yes.
so many people start their skincare journey with GoPure with our Power Trio of serums.
Here. Yeah.
And they are very effective and they're potent. So when someone is just starting their skincare journey, we talked about starting a little more slowly.
Mhm.
How do
Mhm.
you recommend? There's a vitamin C, there's the hyaluronic acid barrier serum, and the retinol. So how would people integrate these into their day and night routines?
Yeah, sure. So, I would say, I usually go with a gentle cleanser, something like that. Nothing really, really harsh. Typically, I usually recommend, a vitamin C serum right before you use your sunscreen in the morning, and that, like we've kind of discussed all the benefits regarding that with pigmentation and decreasing the irritation to the skin. So that's kind of in the morning. Follow that by a sunscreen. Go Pures is really great. And then you can, at night, cleanser again after a long day to kind of decrease some of the oils. And then, you can use like a retinol. I would say the dramatically dewy serum is also very versatile as well. Really, there's multiple ways to doing this. There's really no like right or wrong. I would say, a lot of times, as long as you're using, the active ingredients. So it's like I typically recommend, the retinol first, and then you can use some of that dramatically dewy over it, and then maybe another moisturizer if you need it. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I think you're muted
Keep getting
again. Yep.
muted. But I love that the dramatically dewy is super versatile.
Yeah.
It works so great in the day or the night routine. But like you, I mean, I don't ever want someone to stress about like, do I apply this first? Do I apply this first? What
Mhm.
order?
Yeah.
But again, like we love vitamin C during the day. We love the Firm and Lift with that retinoid and bakuchiol at night. I
Mhm.
do also like to get the most active serum on the skin first,
Right.
and then top it with your booster things, kind of the extra things you want to give the skin. But
Mhm.
these products are formulated to really absorb very well and to work. And there is that subjectivity to your routine. And
Right.
like you said with sandwiching, if you do have a sensitivity to something, or maybe you're just integrating it and you're not sure how your skin's going to react, the further into your routine you apply it and the more things that buffer it are just going to allow you to have a more tolerable experience if you're concerned with irritation. So like the retinol sandwich, where you either apply the retinol on top of your moisturizer or sandwiched in between two moisturizers.
Mhm.
And even with vitamin C, some people, and I love that you mentioned tolerability because this has a Kakadu plum vitamin C, but we have multiple forms of vitamin C here. It's the same thing. If you just want to make sure that your skin can tolerate it and you're concerned, you can always just use less and apply it later on in your routine and then work towards that most active application after cleansing and toning. Because we do have, I've seen some comments, we get some people that get so many things, you get excited, you get really excited, you get a lot of products, and then sometimes your skin is like, whoa,
Mhm.
calm down. Even, these serums, we do additional testing to make sure they're very, very tolerable. But I mean, my experience, and I would love to hear your feedback, is you can have the most tolerable product, but maybe if you are starting 3, 4, 5 products at one time, our
Mhm.
skin just needs a minute to
Mhm.
adjust. So do you ever recommend someone maybe start with like 1 or 2 new products in a week and then build up, or just, integrate slowly if they think they'll be more sensitive? What are your recommendations if someone gets excited, gets a ton of products, and then
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
it was a little too much to start? What's a good way to approach that?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So, I guess as a guy, I like simplicity. So number one, I always, kind of always ask the patient, like, number one is, why are you using 20 products on your skin? Why are you using, 15 products in the morning, 10 products at night? They have them all lined up, and then they show me the picture. I'm like, you know, uh, Yeah. So really, I would say that, there's probably, number one, there's probably no need for a ton of products, like for like 15 different products, you're just kind of putting too much on your skin, so I always go with the basics, so we've already kind of discussed the basics. And I think that, vitamin C, sunscreen, retinol, a moisturizer of some sort, and then maybe a moisturizer after that, and so those are kind of what I would recommend as the bare minimum if you wanted kind of, to do, kind of, well, I wouldn't even say bare minimum. That's already pretty good, and I
Yeah.
would say if you wanted to add on some more things, you can definitely play around with it. You could do it maybe a toner, once or twice a week or something like that if you want to do it every day, if your skin can tolerate it. But I would say in general, if you kind of stick to the basics and what works, that these work, that, these are great products, and so really, there's no need to kind of overwhelm your skin with like 10 different products. I would say that you can kind of go, slowly as well. You can kind of introduce a vitamin C first, and then maybe you could, do that for a couple weeks, and then introduce, the retinol, so that those kind of be what I would do.
Yeah, for sure. And I have extremely sensitive skin. I mean, my skin is so just straight up reactive to even just like I will apply some my skin gets red just from touching it, I mean, and so I have really developed a lot of processes and systems over the years just for myself that I then like to help teach other people, because I know how hard it can be if you feel like I've tried this ingredient and it just doesn't work for me. Sometimes it literally is just about you have to be so patient and start so slowly sometimes if you do feel like you're reactive when it comes to stuff like retinol. And one of the reasons I'm actually so obsessed with the Brighten and Even serum in particular is that vitamin C is such a broad category of ingredients. Actually, there's so many different types of vitamin C, so many different percentages. So sometimes it's about finding the one that your skin loves the most. And the Kakadu plum in here, to me, is there's just such great data behind the compound that we use, but it's so super tolerable for all skin types. And I just love having something that I know I can recommend across the board that is really easy to integrate into a routine. So I always feel good about you can, start with this one, but even with the retinols, it's okay to at night, like 1 or 2 nights a week, and see how your skin does, and make sure you're, just really moisturizing well. And then then build and grow from there, because it can be a challenge to be like, no, I want to use it all the time.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what questions we have. And we have seen questions too about customers here that are in their 50s, and they're struggling with the general signs of aging, but they're also battling breakouts and acne. So what advice do you have for maybe like key ingredients or things if someone is trying to improve the visible signs of aging, as well as maybe still struggling from not just sensitivity but actual breakouts?
So yeah, I guess with breakouts, there's definitely, when I kind of approach breakouts, I immediately think of what I can offer them in terms of prescription medications and things like that. But you have to also kind of see what type of breakouts they are. So are they, little comedones? Are they kind of, small little whiteheads and blackheads? Is that something that a retinol or a retinoid would be able to fix? Is it something that looks more bacterial? And so do you need some sort of antibiotic or something like that in addition to, your skincare regimen? So I would say that, these products really, at the core of them, they should not cause, additional breakouts. As far as the active ingredients are concerned, if you have an allergy, that's a different story. But I would say by and large, these ingredients in and of themselves are safe to use for breakout prone skin, and I would say that that's kind of at the core, is kind of what I would say. And then, really, in my opinion, it just kind of depends a little bit from person to person in terms of what type of breakout you're having. But I would say these are completely safe. It's just that, that you want to, maybe if you're getting, certain areas, it could be hormonal, it's various causes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I totally agree. Like having products that are gentle, that don't strip the skin barrier. I'm seeing a lot of comments about like so many people love our toner. Back here, let me grab it. It's alcohol free. It's a jelly consistency, so it's very hydrating and clarifying, but it's not going to strip the skin. Because that's a big thing too, is that there is a component as we age and we just naturally do not produce the same barrier elements. Our biome kind of gets thrown out of whack, that natural ecosystem of our skin, and just having a compromised barrier. That just happens as we age, that can also be a trigger for things like additional breakouts and skin irritation. So to me, that's really important that our cleanser is very tolerable. It's not going to be stripping and drying our toner as well. And then we put those other actives like niacinamide and ceramides and those squalene, which is a very skin similar lipid, to help just support the skin barrier so you can keep it happy and healthy. Because if you're doing all the things right, and you're still struggling breakouts, as an esthetician, I'm always like, go have a chat with a derm, go see your dermatologist, because our skin is, if you feel like you're doing those things and you're using the right products, you're using your retinol at night, you're using a vitamin C that your skin likes, don't be afraid to have a conversation with a dermatologist, because sometimes don't ever feel bad at any age, I guess what I'm trying to say, because there are just some things that just that little extra help and guidance can really make a big difference, specifically when it comes to acne and breakouts, because acne is a medical condition of the skin, it is. And so sometimes you really do need to definitely treat it as such and make sure you're chatting with a medical professional.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, before we say goodbye, pores. We have a question about pores. I've seen pores come up quite a bit, and we are going to be doing our grand prize. So get your questions in. But I've seen multiple questions about pores. So what do you recommend for like someone's struggling? And I'm a pore girly. I mean, I am Italian, and I definitely have the oiliest of T-zones in the land. And certain skincare products too, if I'm not using the right moisturizer, can congest my pores and make them look larger. So as a dermatologist, what are some key ingredients or products you recommend people use in their routine if they really want to minimize the appearance of pores?
Yeah, absolutely. So, so things like, this Brilliant Barrier Water Cream has niacinamide that can sometimes, B vitamins can decrease the appearance or the look of the pores. Sometimes even, the retinol can help with pores as well. Now, I will say that sometimes people, pores and pores are sometimes, you use the terminology, and I would say that pores, they can be of varying degrees, right? And so if it's very severe, you might need something that's a little bit more aggressive, like something like micro needling, something like that, so, and that can help, stimulate, that skin to kind of decrease the appearance of pores as well. So it really depends, honestly, but I would say these products can help diminish the appearance of pores. It's just that, it might take something a little bit more aggressive depending on how your pore sizes are.
Yeah. A couple of my favorites. I do love our cleanser so much because, obviously first step, if you're really struggling with larger pores as a result of excess oil, pore congestion, maybe you are getting, blackheads regularly or those types of things, or just, combo to oily skin, that's just a thing. It's one of the ways we identify the skin type is you can clearly see a difference in visible pore size. So making sure you are doing a good job of cleansing the skin. Don't skip your nighttime skincare routine. It seems simple, but really being good about at the end of the day, you're removing excess oil, impurities, those things. I do love the toner because it is lightly clarifying and slightly astringent, but we use witch hazel water and not a tincture, so it doesn't have the alcohol in there. Love that. Like you said, niacinamide, either the water cream or the 10% niacinamide booster. If you really are struggling with pores, excess oil and shine, give the 10% niacinamide booster a go. I don't know if you've played with this at all, Dr. Chen.
No, I've used this one. I don't think I think I have it in my stash here, but
So this is one of my secret pore weapons because this is 10% niacinamide. The barrier water cream is 5%. But the 10% niacinamide booster has additionally a pumpkin seed oil extract and an annatto fruit compound. Both of those have clinical data specifically for managing excess oil and shine. and the impact that has on pore size. So this for me, if someone's like, my pores are a problem, like make sure you're properly cleansing your skin, clarifying. And I love the 10% niacinamide booster. Because it's not just niacinamide. It's all, like we said, we pack so much in these, so they're not linear. You know, we're not just like, oh, okay, have niacinamide and just only use that. They're really very intentional products that will target and improve the look of specific concerns from multiple ways, not just one thing. And I think that's why people get better results. It's not just going at it in one direction. And then one thing that has actually made a big difference for my pores is just making sure I'm using the right moisturizer. If I'm using a moisturizer that's a bit too much for my skin, and I do adjust seasonally because my skin's combo, it behaves so differently seasonally. The right weight of moisturizer makes a world of difference in how my pores look, because the wrong moisturizer, too heavy, just sits heavier on my skin and just makes my pores look bigger, and I'm going to be more prone to congestion. And then, yeah, I love the Firm and Lift because of the retinol and the bakuchiol in there for just helping, you know, that natural cell turnover process. Huge difference. All right, let's see if there's any other. I know we have people that I can't wait to try more of our products. I see we've had people in the chat that are just getting started on their GoPure journey. So many of you that have been using GoPure for a very long time, remember that right now we are having our holiday sale. So you can save 20% off of all of the amazing things on the website. And we have an option for a free gift on there as well on orders over $49, which is amazing. So you get a fun little extra goodie in there. And if you want to make sure you get orders in for the holidays, make sure that you complete your order by the 14th, because we just want to make sure that we get that in time. Now, I see, I think, stocking up. I thought I saw stocking stuffer question. So for Skin Pro to Skin Pro, not like if you're going to gift skincare to someone this season, what do you think is the most giftable? What are your favorite giftable GoPure items? Besides Dr. Chen's firming set.
Oh my gosh, I was gonna say that.
My mom wants that. My mom's like, girl, you know, I better be getting that neck cream and the anti-wrinkle.
Yes, I was gonna say my set, but yeah. So I would say this. Sunscreen's always a good, it's a fan favorite. I get a ton of sunscreen and I always give it away, to family if I can, and really, easy things to kind of do, even like a singular, like a retinoid,
yeah.
Like, so anti-aging, like if somebody is struggling with a little bit of, the wrinkles and things like that, this is great. The anti-wrinkle moisturizer, a peptide, you can't go wrong with that, and so really, anything that we really discussed today are great giftable items.
Yeah. I mean, what I saw a really interesting statistic around holiday time, though, about how when people actually like gift to themselves, and skincare is like a huge thing, where it's like 31% of people gift themselves. Like it's like a skincare item around the holidays, because we're thinking about what everyone else wants. So I think sometimes we're thinking about like, what do I want? What do I want to gift for myself? And yeah, absolutely. All right, let's see if we have any other question. I know, and I see recommendations for new products for us as well. So before we do our grand prize, I want to see in the comments, what do you want to see from GoPure in 2024 and beyond? And Dr. Chen, what are some of your ideas for GoPure? Like, what do you want us to add here? What do you knowing our products? Like, what ingredients or what products do you think we should put on our wish list for next year?
That's a great question. So, I mean, I already think that you guys have, have a great, GoPure has a great lineup already, so some of my ideas would be, what about like maybe an azelaic acid or something like that could maybe help with pigmentation as well. We were kind of just chatting a little bit, some of my colleagues like maybe even like a mask of some sort, like, doing like a kind of a mask, and so those are kind of some of my kind of, even like a tranexamic acid or something like that can help with pigmentation, so there's a lot of things that, are on the market. And I would say that I always choose things that, that are, at least can work, that have some evidence behind it. And so yeah, those are kind of some things that we obviously brainstorm a lot more, and kind of chat, but some of those things, would be good additions.
And you already know some of the super secret things we have
Oh,
coming
yes.
too. So
Yes.
Dr. Chen knows some
Yes.
of the fun and the super secret items
Mm-hmm.
that
Yes.
our customers are going to be so excited about.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really excited for what we have in store for
Mm-hmm.
next year. And then those other things that we can put on the list. And I see so many people like lip products, masks. And let us know what type of masks are there's so many. I love a good clay mask. But if it's the right type of clay, like I'm really picky with my types of clay and those things. But what other types of masks do you like? I mean, I love a good mask moment, so I'll give you all the masks.
I just like a hydrating one. I don't use too many of them, only when I get them. But I would say that like a hydrating one, just like kind of it just makes your skin feel really good and kind of cooling and kind of hydrating. And so that's what I like.
Yeah,
I
love
see a lot of like lip balms and things like that, lip specific products. It looks like.
Yeah, we've had a lot of requests for lip products, mask scrubs, firming lip products, travel sizes. We've had a lot of requests for just so many great things. So I feel like we should do our grand prize giveaway that will include Dr. Chen's firming set along with some other Go Pure goodies. You all have been so amazing in the chat. And Dr. Chen, you have been such a delight to talk to about Go Pure and your journey. And I'm just so excited for all of the amazing things that we're going to get to do with our dermatology board of advisors. Yes. And we just have so much more in store. So how was your first live experience with?
It was good. Actually, I think it went better than I would have ever, could have ever, wished. It's very interactive. I can see all the comments. There's so many that I can hardly keep up.
I know, isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
But yeah, it's been great. Just kind of, discussing kind of some tips and just trying to give some of my insight and really, really enjoyed it for sure.
Well, we appreciate you being here so much with us. Now, would you like to announce our grand prize winner?
Yes. Let me see. It's going to cycle again. Let me see. So Sharon Morrison.
Congratulations,
Congratulations,
Sharon. You have won Dr. Chen's firming set that has the amazing anti-wrinkle moisturizer, the Tighten Lift Neck Cream, and the Firm and Lift Serum, along with some other Go Pure goodies we're going to get for you. And if you love the option to win things, make sure you head over to our Instagram. We've been doing 5 days of giveaways. We are on day 5. So head over to our Instagram, make sure you enter there, and just make sure you're following us on all of our social channels. Make sure you follow Dr. Chen. It's at Edward Chen MD on Instagram. So you can follow him on Instagram too, and connect and see all of the amazing content that he makes and the advice that he shares. But also ask your questions in our VIP group. I hope you're all a member of our Go Pure VIP community. It's a really great way to connect with the team here at Go Pure, Kaylee and I, the estheticians. And I have some grand plans for doing like a dermatologist takeover days in there where people can ask questions. I have all these fun ideas to torment you all with next year, so stay tuned. But thank you so much for being here with us. This was so much fun.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was a pleasure being here and kind of interacting with everyone. It was really, really a good time.
Awesome. And I know there are so many questions and they just on our end, they absolutely fly by. So it's so hard for us to see all of them, but we have our incredible customer service team and Kaylee and I will pop back in there, see if there's any questions that we missed to make sure that we get you all answers to all of your questions. And if there's any additional concerns you have, you can always reach out to our customer service at support@gopurebeauty.com and they can ask the questions and get connected to the right person. We have the best team. And make sure you grab that 25% off while it's still available and the free gift for orders over $49 US, because we want to give you all the extra goodies we can here at GoPure.
Yes.
So everyone have any final words, Dr. Chen, to our amazing community that hung out with us tonight? You can just say,
oh,
bye or anything, but
you were asking me. Oh yeah, and I was waiting for something else. I'm so sorry. This is my first live. But yes, thank you for having me, Stephanie. Thank you, GoPure, for the opportunity. And yeah, and everybody, if follow GoPure, we love those raffles, and so yeah, really a pleasure being on. And yeah, no final thoughts. Just really enjoyed it.
And I do appreciate your time. Thank you for staying on a little extra.
Yeah, absolutely.
These always go a little long, but we get so many great questions and it's so much fun.
Yeah, it goes really fast.
It goes so fast.
Yeah.
All right. Well, everyone, have an amazing night. Dr. Chen, thank you so much. And we will talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.